Hey, it's your girl Nicole, and welcome back to another episode of the Risers Hub podcast. Happy Monday, and thank you for tuning in this morning. I have to admit, I'm pretty amped up because I'm coming fresh off not just a half marathon, but also from a 275 plus mile relay run from DC to New York City. Am I crazy? Yes. Am I bragging? Oh, heck yeah. Is there a point to all of this? Yes, of course there is. So today we're diving straight into a topic that's close to my heart: perspective and keeping it moving. Now, I don't want to sound cliche, but I had another podcast I was going to post this morning, and then I decided, no, I think someone needs to hear this. I feel like there's someone out there who's in the middle of a process. They're in the middle of something and they want to give up. Whatever it is that you're going through, I just want you to hang on. Hang on, all right? I'm going to share some real perspectives based on my experiences from these races. And yes, I know these races may not compare to what you're going through, but just again, stick with me. And I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own life, your own experience. Where do you need to shift your perspective? And more importantly, how are you keeping it moving, both physically and mentally? This episode is all about the body and the mind. So, as always, take what resonates with you and implement it in your life where it fits. And if you still have questions or you're still on the fence about something, that's fine too. You can shoot me an email. We can talk about it one on one. We're all on this journey of figuring all of this out together: our wellness journey, our life journey, and the futures that we want to create together. So sit back, grab your favorite cup of Joe, and let's get started. Okay, so the first one I want you to fill in the blank, okay? Finding yourself through blank, okay? Finding yourself through running, finding yourself through a new job, finding yourself through a project, okay? For those of you who don't know, I'm an avid runner. I've been running since the beginning of time and the roaming of dinosaurs, so about 15 years old, okay? And even when I take breaks, I'm hanging with my friends, I'm at work, I'm doing the podcast, I'm thinking about running. That's how bad it is, okay? So I'm thinking about my next run, my next race. When do I start training again? It's just part of who I am in my DNA. But here's the thing about running: it's so much more than the physical act. Especially when you're running long distances, running can put things into perspective. Running is so much more than the physical act. Especially when you're running long distances, running can put things into perspective. You don't have to be a speed demon or a fitness freak. It's all about those little small goals you set for yourself, the ones you hit that make you feel amazing. Now, this past week, I did a relay run consisting of 275 plus miles with 49 other crazy runners. And what that entails is 5 vans, 50 runners, and all these miles. And we ran from the Pentagon to the 9/11 Memorial. Out of that, I ran about 34 miles. Then a few days later, I ran a half marathon equaling 13.1 miles. Because why not, right? No, when I registered for both these events, I had no idea they were back to back until probably a month ago when I actually sat down and looked at my calendar. And let me tell you, the sense of accomplishment afterwards, today, yesterday, the day before, it wasn't physical. It was mental and it was spiritual because I accomplished such a great feat. Now, I get it. Running may not be your thing, and that's okay. Maybe for you, it is golfing, it is cooking, it is gardening, hiking, or biking. Whatever it is, think about how it makes you feel when you look back at all that time and energy you've invested. You can't help but feel proud. That's what I mean by putting things in perspective. It's about appreciating the journey and not just the destination. Now, I want to talk about the power of connection. One of the coolest things about these races are the people that I get to meet. I'm not a huge fan of crowds, but I am a fan of diversity within the sport. Races bring together all kinds of runners, all shapes, sizes, speeds, and techniques. It's wild how a single sport can unite so many people. What's amazing is that you strike up a conversation with someone who doesn't look anything like you. Maybe they have nothing in common with you besides running, but you can talk for hours about training, races, workout gear, and future goals. That shared passion brings people together and builds connection. I want to highlight the word connection because I want you to know you're not alone in your wellness journey or even your life journey. The reason why I do this podcast is to start the conversation to connect with you and then you with others and be a catalyst for conversation. Some of you are having a hard time in your wellness journey, your life journey, or just everyday routines, whether it's losing weight, getting fit, or managing a health condition. You might feel like you're putting in all this work and you're not seeing the results. But I'm here to tell you, you are making progress. And you're wondering why I'm saying that? Because you started. You're noticing the work that you're putting in and you want to see results. Make connections with people who share the same experience and be inspired by their stories, their way of seeing the journey. Take from them what might work for you and then share your experience and give them a perspective they may not have thought of. Make a connection and don't be afraid to make that connection. Let me give you a quick example. I have this little backpack that I wear when I run, and I've been wearing it for probably 3 or 4 months now. It's so small, it's so light, but it carries so much. And I've gotten compliments on it every single time I wear it. It's the strangest thing. Every time I wear it, where'd you get that? How are you wearing that? What's going on with that thing on your body? Like everywhere I go. And I connected with a woman on my relay run trip. And she said, you know what's cool about that backpack? You have these little notches throughout the backpack. And if you get one of those little water things with the tube attached to it, you can take that tube and you can weave it into those little notches and you don't have to carry your water with you. I was sitting there looking at her like, what? Are you kidding me? I've had this thing for 3 or 4 months and I didn't figure that out. People have been complimenting me on this thing and they didn't tell me this. There was a connection that we had because we start talking about running. We start talking about Ragnar. We start talking about equipment. And she shared something that I didn't even think of. And that's what I mean about connection and not being afraid to talk to people about what you're going through. All right, moving on, people. Next, when things get tough, don't give up. All right, let's be real. Life gets hard. And for some of us, really hard. Wellness journeys get hard. And when things get tough, the first instinct is to throw in the towel, right? But that's when you need to dig deep and keep going. I know that in my own life, I've had to question myself every single day when things get difficult. It's so easy to want to take a shortcut or just quit. But what I've learned over the years, heck, over the last few months, is that I have to stay in the process. And if you stick with it, the outcome is going to teach you something. Even if it's not the outcome you expected, it's something that you definitely need. And look, I'm right there with you. I ask myself and God every day, why am I here? What am I supposed to learn from this? But it's in those questions that turn into quiet, reflective moments for myself. And I realize and remind myself that the process is working for me and not against me. The more you fight the process, the harder it gets. But if you slow down, if you let go just a little bit and trust, you'll start to see everything fall into place, even when it doesn't feel like it's falling into place. I'm not going to lie to you. The process can really suck. Oh my gosh, I hate the process sometimes. But I'm here to tell you, keep going. Keep it moving. Not only trust the process, but trust yourself. You got this. The return on your investment will make you smile from ear to ear. Trust me. All right. Next, keep moving, literally and for real, for real. The second part of today's episode is all about keeping your body moving. Here she goes with the exercise. Here she goes about telling me to run. I'm not telling you to run. I'm telling you to move, okay? It doesn't matter how fit or unfit you think you are. It doesn't matter if you don't see a change in 2 weeks or even 2 months. The point is keep moving. Keep that heart pumping. Keep the brain active along with your body. And hey, I get it. Maybe you're not seeing the results you want to see right now, but challenge yourself to keep going anyway. Push your body, safely of course, outside its comfort zone because that's where the real growth and change happens. Take my trip to Paris, for example. I decided not to run for 8 days. Crazy. And the reason why it's crazy is I knew I had these events coming up. I knew I had this relay coming up, and I knew I had this half marathon coming up. But my goal for that trip was to focus on my family and my relationships. So instead of running, I used walking as an exercise. And you know what's funny about that? My sister, who's not a runner and doesn't get half the things that I do, she was the one who pointed out our daily 20,000 steps and how it was great exercise for both of us. That's when my perspective shifted. And I told myself, and I told my mind, this is my daily workout. This is what we're going to be doing to get in shape, and we're going to walk everywhere. And I kept it moving in a different way and not in a traditional running way, but I kept it moving. I learned that if I tell my body, this is what we're going to do, my body will follow. And the same holds true for you, which takes us right into the mental side of things. I want to talk about tapping into your mental strength. On that Ragnar run, on that relay run from the Pentagon to the 9/11 Memorial, there were moments where I had to dig really deep. For instance, when we were told or asked to run a few extra miles on top of the miles that we had expected to run, I had to wrap my head around those miles, those extra miles, because if I knew I had 6 or 8 miles that day and you're asking me to run another 3 or 4, I had to mentally prepare myself for that. Now, don't get me wrong, I could have walked, but it would have slowed the group down, it would have taken forever, and I would have been utterly bored. So I told my body, we're running. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing hurts. There's no excuses. We're going to run these extra miles. And you know what? I did it. Now, what I want you to do is take away the word running or take away the running analogy for just a second. Maybe for you, it's about pushing through a challenging project at work or staying up late to bake those cookies for the PTA meeting. Whatever it is, sometimes you just have to dig in and keep going. You're not only working for yourself, but you're also working for others and in the environment that you're living in. Now, let's talk about building SMART goals and setting yourself up for success. And we've talked about this before. Now, let's get practical. One of the things I talk about as a life coach is setting SMART goals. Goals that have to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. This applies to anything in life, whether it's fitness, career, relationships, you name it. If you don't set yourself up for success by breaking down your goals in small, bite-sized chunks, you're going to feel overwhelmed or worse, disappointed in yourself. So think about the areas in your life where you want to see change. What do you need to do to get there? What steps are you going to take today to move forward? Now, when you ask yourself these questions, you're starting to build the process. And when you write down your goals, it gives the process up. It also keeps you focused during the process because, let me tell you, the reason why the process is so hard at times, life loves throwing us lemons, and then we have to figure out how to make lemonade. You are going to want to throw those lemons back. But if your goals are SMART goals, you've set a nice foundation for yourself. And you can make that lemonade. It can be super sweet. It can not be sweet at all. It could be bitter, but you made lemonade. So keep moving. So here's the takeaway from today's podcast. Number 1, finding yourself through blank. Finding yourself through running, through fitness, through a project. That's what I'm talking about. Find yourself through the things that you love. Number 2, the power of connection. Connect with people. Share your experiences. Find the safe people to connect with so you can learn from them and they can learn from you. Number 3, when things get tough, please don't give up. Make the lemonade. Again, it can be sweet lemonade, it can be bitter, but you made the lemonade. Number 4, now keep moving. Literally and for real. Don't stop moving your body. I don't care what kind of shape you think you're in, your body needs to move. Number 5, your mentality is your leader and you can push through. Keep your mental strong and positive and tell your brain and your body, this is what we're going to do and I can do it. And number 6, build smart goals and set yourself up for success. I want you to put things into perspective and keep it moving. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm just here as a catalyst. It's not about how many miles you run or how fit you are. It's about staying in the process, pushing yourself when it gets tough, and trusting that every step forward, whether it's in running, your wellness journey, your career, life in general, it's getting you closer to where you want to be. I just want to say to you right now, and please, I hope someone hears this. I believe in you, and I want you to believe in you. The next time you face yourself in the mirror, tell yourself, I believe in you, and you've got this. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Risers Hub podcast. Remember to stay focused, keep perspective, and most importantly, keep it moving. Until next time, keep rising. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Remember, this podcast is meant for both education and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, so it's crucial to consult your physician, psychotherapist, or qualified health professionals for personalized advice. Until next time, take care. Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast, tell your friends to be my friends, and we can be friends. Hey, we can do this every week. Or just tell them to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.